What is going on, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? The ACMGS Gamer here. Today we're here with, yes, another Star Wars Outlaws video. However, it's not exclusively about Star Wars Outlaws, but it's about any single-player game that has a season pass, and the author says there is never a good reason. Well, I'm here to tell you the facts, and one of those facts is that there could be multiple reasons why a game has a season pass. And the first is if you give a benefit of the doubt to the company and say, hey, there is more story content that they had planned to put into the game, but they didn't have time to do it. So they decided, we'll bundle this for later and continue working on it while the main game goes out. Okay? That is a very good reason. I would rather have delayed content at a higher quality than content immediately with low quality, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's just me, that's what I would prefer. So if there is a delay with the 2-story DLC packs in terms of quality, that's fine. Now, the con side of that is that they're asking you to pay money for 2 DLCs that you don't know what they are. That's the thing, is you don't know what you're getting with those DLCs. You don't know how long the hours are going to be. You don't know if it's an extra map or if it's just an extra story. You don't really know if you're going to get your money's worth. However, because of that, that's why they built it in, that the standard edition is $70. The next edition is the gold edition, which is $110, and then you have $130. Now, the price hike between the standard and the gold is $40. That's because that's how much the season pass is if you buy this in a bundle, where you have each story DLC's $20, and so essentially you're paying $40 for 2 story DLCs. Now, in the regular store post-launch content, typically a season story DLC would be $24.99. So essentially, you are saving yourself $10 or $20. $10 for both of them compared to if you were to buy them later. Now, you may end up saving yourself $40 if you don't want to play the story DLC at all. So it is entirely up to you as a consumer whether or not you want to stick with the base game, and if you decide later that you want to play the story, well, you just have to pay $10 more than what you would have if you bought the season pass. That's really all it comes down to. And like I said, I'm assuming that they're still working on the content because they haven't shown anything as to what that content is going to be. That could be a turnoff for some people. But the thing is, as the time gets closer after the base game, Ubisoft will launch probably trailers for the DLC in an effort to continue sales of the base game and then also sell the story DLC. Now, with that being said, let's get into the article. And the first thing is, the author says, it's a brilliant premise, but given Ubisoft is behind it, many red flags are already flying. Firstly, it has a lovely Jubilee season pass. I don't know why a game from a company that is known for having season passes, I don't know why that is a red flag when I just explained how that may not be. But I just don't see it as a red flag, I guess. But her conviction is that season passes are designed to hold content hostage, which I disagree with, to make titles we pay full price for feel unfinished right out of the gate, because we know more will be on the horizon. When you look at how they're marketed, that much is abundantly clear. I disagree. You look at The Witcher 3 Season Pass. I know it's almost a decade now, but bear with me. The Season Passes for The Witcher 3 were combined both bigger than the base game DLC. That's crazy and that's insane. Now, we don't know what this is going to be, But the idea that, oh, it's to hold content hostage, it might legitimately be, like I said, that they just need more time. That, as a matter of fact, that's exactly what happened with Assassin's Creed Origins regarding the Hidden Ones and the Curse of the Pharaohs DLC. Both very good DLCs, they just needed more time to develop the story and make sure it was up to a specific standard. So I disagree with this premise that it's designed to hold content hostage. You know what holds content hostage? Microtransactions. Anyways, she goes on to say the past decade has seen Ubisoft put out standard, gold, and ultimate editions for the majority of its games, each with increasingly heinous pricing structures and types of content ranging from small digital bonuses to season passes that house entire expansions and exclusive missions. Well, yeah, if you're going to buy the season pass, it's going to have exclusive missions in it. Otherwise, why would you waste $24.99? Months or sometimes even just weeks after launch, I've seen these editions heavily discounted to make up for lacking sales. Or the pre-order period is simply over and publishers can drop their guard and actually sell these bundles for prices that aren't taking advantage of consumers. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora was a perfect example of this. Everybody has a story. Everybody that is a gamer has a story about when games were heavily discounted after they bought the game. Everybody has that. And honestly, it just depends on how long you're willing to wait. There are some people that like to wait until the reviews are out and then they'll pre-order the day before the game comes out. There are some people that will actually watch gameplay or watch an entire game before they decide to play it themselves. It just depends. Do you want to put your money on the line or not? Now, me not knowing the story DLC, not knowing what it's going to be, if I have to pay that $10 later down the line in the next year and the year after that, that would be fine. If I don't have the money now at this moment in time, guess what? I would be fine with just purchasing the $70 edition. That's just me. But they still have yet to convince me to do so because we haven't really seen... they gave us a gameplay demo, but they haven't given us enough content, in my opinion, to make me have a definitive answer. It's the same thing that happened with Odyssey, where I ended up not wanting to play the game, and I was excited for it at first, but then I saw the gameplay, I didn't enjoy it. He said all of a sudden her purchases feel unwarranted, and I would be better off waiting instead of falling for out-of-pocket marketing tactics. Well, that's on you. If all of your purchases feel unwarranted, then don't buy the games if you're unsure. I don't know, there's this thing of FOMO of, oh, everybody's playing this game, so I have to play this game too. If you are not comfortable with the game, then don't play the game. It's that simple. If you buy a game on Steam, I know this isn't on Steam, but a majority of the time if you buy a game on Steam, you have 2 hours to refund that purchase. You have 2 hours to essentially where you have a free demo, and then you can get your money back. Now with being specifically Ubisoft, I'm not entirely clear on their refund policy actually, because I don't think I've ever tried to return a game from Ubisoft store. Ubisoft is trying to convince, and judging by the decade or so we've seen such editions peddled out, it appears to be working. When games are no longer in the spotlight, it is easy to market these editions once again and pick up loads of sales after discounts. Well, yeah, because if it's been a year or two, or even half a year, say the game comes out in August, the game will probably be 10% off come Christmas, more than likely, or Black Friday, 10%. Wouldn't surprise me. And if you have people like me who wanted to purchase the game beforehand, and when it originally came out, and don't want that 10% off, then guess what? We won't get 10% off. She continues and says, whenever I notice a game has a season pass, I feel suspicious that the base game won't measure up. Then don't purchase the edition with the season pass. Just play the base game and see how you feel. And then she continues and says, or I'll burn out before this extra content is even close to being released. Then don't buy the season pass. From the outset, these games have been designed for post-launch content where players are all expected to stick around longer after reaching credits. Also, they can spend more money and up to this good old user retention statistics. Well, here's the issue. I've been having this issue with Ubisoft for years where microtransactions, they like to put them in single-player games. I don't believe that that's right. I don't think microtransactions have any place whatsoever in single-player games, period. I already paid, it used to be $50, and it was $60, now it's $70 for the base game, so let me have the base game and its content. I don't need to keep coming back to a game consistently with a single player. It doesn't make any sense. I don't even know why Ubisoft is keeping up with how many players... I mean, I can understand why Ubisoft would keep up with how many players are playing their game currently, but why would they care about a single player game and how many people are consistently coming back for different events? This was something that plagued Valhalla, and I don't think it plagued Odyssey, but it definitely plagued Valhalla because they kept releasing free DLCs and free stories to entice people to keep playing the game. It's like, if I'm done with the game, and for Star Wars Outlaws, if it's similar to where I play through the game and then I go into the open world and I can do anything I want after the game is done, guess what? I'm going to keep playing the game until I get everything done. And then I'm going to go in and do the season pass if I feel like the content they present justifies $24 or whatever it is. But that is all of this article. I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think there's never a good reason for a single player game to have a season pass? Do you think that there is a good reason and that it could be a delay of content? Do you keep playing games years and years and years after they've already launched? Do you even use any of the online features of single-player games? That sounds like an oxymoron. I don't know, but I want to hear your input. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.